All right. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time. I certainly hope everything's working. Let me know in the chat if everything's working. Okay, great. Sorry about the no desktop music. Well, I just, boomer tech and all that stuff, guys. So, welcome to the Gold Goats and Guns Hour. Well, half hour. We're going to do 30 minutes over here tonight. This is going to be the new format going forward, at least until I say otherwise. We're going to try this. So after the stream on Friday, we popped on over to Odysee and tried doing some streaming over at Odysee, and it actually worked really well, and actually worked better, I think, than it was working over here at YouTube. So, or through Restream. So for whatever reason, I'm getting less friction or bandwidth friction through Restream, through Odysee than I am through Restream. Don't ask me why. I'm not going to complain. So we're going to try that, or at least I think that's what's going on. Not that I really care one way or the other. What I care about is the fact that I hate fucking YouTube with a purple passion, and I think most of you do too. So I'm going to link in the description. I'll link in the chat here and there for those of you who are not subscribed to me on Odysee. Let's go get the channel link. I'll throw it in the chat real quick so that anybody who's not signed up with me on Odysee, which is probably most of you, since I've only got 305 people following me over there, go ahead and sign up with me on Odysee over there so that you can, do the thing. Since I only use this YouTube channel really for this, I am actually every once in a while posting other stuff over on Odysee anyway. I've had discussions with, I'm going to try that from here on out. And we're going to see what happens here. Because, there's no reason not to try and make this better, right? Well, to try and, I've been wanting to starve YouTube of money for a long time. Now they put freaking ads in front of my content, and I don't even see any of it because I don't have a monetized channel, and I refuse to be monetized. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to talk for about half an hour here. But mostly is I want you to go over to Odysee, because we're going to do a second stream over on Odysee. And maybe that will be the format going forward. Half an hour to wet your whistle over on YouTube, and then move you over to the actual stream over on Odysee. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna pop into this. It may get a little wonky here as I try to get my try and get the link to this so that I can. That's not gonna work. Because, as always, I forgot to actually, if anybody would do me the distinct pleasure of tweeting this out such that, and at me on it so I can retweet it, that would be good. I just don't have the bandwidth or the ability to multitask and get that done. So, how is everybody doing? How was your weekend? My weekend was busy, and I'm getting ready, of course. Getting ready for the holiday, at least most Americans are getting ready for the holiday, because, Thanksgiving is the best day of the year from my perspective. So for many, many reasons, and I've talked about it. I think I've talked about this in the past, and I'll probably talk about it again a little later on. But let's talk about what I think is where I think we are. So the last article I posted on my blog over over goldgoatsandguns.com or tomluongo.me, and you can follow me on Twitter at TFL1728. Is there we go. Thank you, Meat Popsicle. I appreciate that. Yes, I am a meat popsicle. Turn my phone off from that perspective. Did I put that on airplane mode? No, I did not. All right, let's do this. So what I'm seeing in the latest article that I posted over on my blog is is asking the question, have we reached peak Davos? And it's a good question, and I'm not actually, sure I even believe what I'm writing there. But I think it was important to at least begin answering the question. This is a question I asked of my patrons a few days earlier, because, for those of you who don't know, I do regular private blog posts, what I call the morning munchings, because I'm still a Star Wars geek at heart, and God, that's really funny to name my private blog post after a line from Jar Jar Binks, the most hated character in cinema history. I think it just makes me laugh every time I write it. But I talked about this then because I just began to get this feeling that they wouldn't be pushing as hard as they are for lockdowns, medical apartheid, and everything. It's like, you know, this insanity of screaming at people, you have to get the fucking jab! You have to! It's a matter of life and death! It's not a matter of life and death. We're talking about a fucking virus that has a 0.1% fucking fatality rate. And each new variant that comes out is more transmissible and less deadly, just like every other goddamn coronavirus that's ever hit the face of the planet for the last 4 billion years. Where the fuck have you been? Just because all of a sudden some goddamn fucking mangy goddamn Aussie dickwad has the goddamn fucking nerve to think I understand more about virology than anybody else who's ever walked the face of the planet, or just biology itself. Like, all of a sudden we have to change the fucking rules of human society. Bullshit. We don't have to do that. And that's exactly what's going on here. So what you're going to wind up with is Davos pushing as hard as possible to get as much of their agenda through as possible. It's why it was quote unquote touch and go that Jerome Powell was going to be reappointed as FOMC chair. It's why there was, you know, they tried to get 4 fucking scalps to get rid of the guy and to force him to loosen up monetary policy. It's why the euro is in the tank and desperately they're trying to cling on, hold on to a $1.12 handle here. I mean, there's all sorts of things that are happening. And people who have been in power less than a fucking month, I keep going back to this, but this guy, Schallenberg in fucking Austria, this guy's been on the job for 3 fucking weeks. What, a month? And and he has the goddamn nerve to say he has the fucking authority to lock down an entire country? He wasn't elected by anybody. He has no personal mandate. He just took over as the technocrat in charge after they deposed Sebastian Kurz. Like, I don't know, fucking threatening his family with I didn't even get what's happening anymore, because it's so blatantly obvious what's happening to anybody who has eyes to see that this is just naked aggression. You know, as my gaming group, oh, that's pure naked aggression. Like, you know, you make this little teeny fucking, you know, we make fun of it because it's like these teeny little move where I went to where you wanted to go half a turn before you did in some stupid fucking Euro game. And like, it's pure naked aggression. I must kill you now. Like these people are literally, you know, taking the lives away from millions of people, or at least attempting to. And I mean, the goddamn balls to think that they have the right and the moral authority to do this. It's insane. Because it gets down to this fucking, I don't know, whether it's Karen mentality or this zero tolerance mentality or this unbelievable, you know, obsession with safety first, and there can be no cost. We have enough of everything that there's no scarcity in the world. We've gotten past all that shit. Just go in your fucking homes and there will be toilet paper tomorrow. Like, no, there won't be, you motherfucker. You might have fucking toilet paper, but we won't. You might have steak on the table, but we're going to have to eat bugs, right? Fuck you. Like, they don't understand a goddamn thing. They just think their life, that the supermarkets just magically, you know, spawn food. Like, I mean, like, it's a fucking video game. Like, you know, there's a respawn timer for all the resources in the world, and they just, you know, show up every 10 minutes. Like, it's fucking World of Warcraft, for Christ's sake. This is the way these people fucking think. I'm not talking about Davos. Davos knows exactly what they're fucking doing. I'm talking about some of these fucking party apparatchiks in fucking Australia. I watched this one video of this jackass today. Literally, like, didn't blink for 1 minute and 45 seconds. I watched. I'm like, bug eyes, the whole goddamn 9 yards, screaming about how the unvaxxed are gonna destroy civilization. Like this. For 1 minute and 45 seconds. I think the guy blinked twice. Maybe twice. The whole time. Obviously mentally ill. Obviously needs to be taken away in one of the over-tailored jackets and put into a nice padded room. We all know that this is what has to happen, and yet somehow this doesn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't even get it anymore. So when I see that kind of desperation, when I see that kind of insanity, the lack of temperance, the lack of understanding, the lack of empathy, the lack of anything. They start out, oh no, really, you have a choice, blah, 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 blah. And within 2 minutes, they're like frothing at the fucking mouth and screaming, but you're gonna kill us all, so fucking do it or we'll kill you. You frighten me terribly, and I want to go now. And no soup for you, okay? Unbelievable. They really are. I mean, they really are insane. It is. It's literally like they think. Tango Hotel Lima is like freaking out about my my WoW analogy. Like, yeah, it does. The vendors always have an infinite supply of freaking candied apples. All you got to do is click the little button and they'll show up, right? 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 I mean, that would be I don't understand how people can even think this way. That this is normal or the way things should be. It's not that way at all. And so when you see how hard they're pushing right now to lock down as many people as possible, to take away as many rights and freedoms, and just blanketly. And they're doing it in places that are not free, people. Okay? These places are not. Australia isn't free. England isn't a free country. Canada's not a free country. Germany's not a free country. Fuck you, you're not free. You're not free because there's a unitary executive who can stand there and make a fucking pronouncement, and for the most part, you're not free. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of religion. You're not free. You have some of these things as long as the government allows you to have them. We have them enshrined. Our Constitution is a negative document here in the United States. Okay? Whatever it doesn't say, the government has in the document, the government doesn't have. That doesn't matter that's de jure. In reality, well, that's a different story, obviously. But the reality of the situation is that as a written document of the contract between the people and the government, fuck you, America is free and everybody else isn't. Okay? Period. So if you guys want to be free, you're going to have to use our document as the basis for new governments. If you don't want assholes like Schallenberg or that fucking trainee horsemouth cunt over in New Zealand, whatever the fuck, Jacinda Ardern, smiling at you, all you have to do is get the jab and you can have your life back. It's okay. You just have to get the jab and you can have your life back. Fuck you. No. Fuck you. No. It's insanity. And then we all live under this consensual hallucination that the state is a real thing. It's not a real thing. It's just us with guns. Actually, El Vaquero, I would disagree with you. I think the Constitution needs fewer teeth. The problem with the Constitution is that there are certain clauses, the Supremacy Clause, the General Welfare Clause, the Interstate Commerce Clause, that legally have had trucks driven through them to justify all this bullshit. Because when you give collectivists the opportunity, when you give commies the opportunity to fuck around with the one thing that I always talk about, when commies can't win an argument, what do? They change the fucking rules. They change the definitions of words. Well, that's exactly what we've done in order to justify 95% of our government. Because at some point, someone pointed a gun at a Supreme Court justice and said, do this, write whatever you have to justify it, but this is the way you're going to fucking vote. What? The New Deal. Oh, I mean, this is the way shit works. These people just think if you write a law or that they create reality. Bullshit. You don't create reality. What you create is a matrix. And eventually that matrix is disbelieved. Everybody looks around and goes, that's just code. That code's bullshit. That's bad code. I don't even like that code. It doesn't even work. Why am I even listening to it? It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Exactly, Silent Gary. I mean, it's truly otherworldly. And so at this point, when you see Italians warming their hands over the fire of made out of their green passes in a 55-gallon drum, this is a good thing. Leave it to the Italians to start chucking their green passes into a fucking barrel and lighting them on fire. So, yeah, 2 words for Australia: 3D printers. Yeah, right there with you, boss. So. Juan, I do appreciate it. Juan says, Tom has turned my entire belief system upside down, that the anti-federalists were right, the South had the right to secede, taxation is theft, and the Articles of Confederation were better than the Constitution. The Articles of Confederation would have worked just fine, as Martin Armstrong has pointed out many times, if the war debt could have been dealt with in some way. If the war debt if they just defaulted on the fucking war debt, everything would have been fine. The problem was that they wouldn't do that. And, Hamilton refused to do that. And again, many a statist or many a conservative really does believe that, we have to have some kind of nation state. And the alt-right believes this too. And even my partner Dexter White believes this to a greater or lesser extent. What I tell you is that I'm not even at this point going to argue one way or the other what we need or what we don't need at this moment in time. What I'm going to tell you is that when you break it down, anarchy is, no state is going to be a better scenario. All voluntary interactions would be a better scenario than anyone built on force. It just is. The problem is that, force, like everything else, can be localized and create tremendous dislocations. Or we could institutionalize it and then, give psychopaths nuclear weapons. Your choice. So what are we at? 19 minutes. So for those who are late, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to cut the stream off and I'm going to move over to Odysee. There'll be about a 5-minute break while I reset the streaming software and I, go through the process. Odysee takes a couple of minutes to confirm the transaction and all that stuff because it is actually technically on a blockchain. And then we'll go from there. But just to know, that's going to be the format going forward. About a half an hour here on YouTube, just to kind of get everybody, understanding what's going on. I don't want to do this for an hour on YouTube. Fuck YouTube. But I got 5,000 people who follow me on YouTube, and presumably more than 2,000 people watch the average stream. So I would rather those views go over on Odysee. I'd rather you all be there. And then, everybody can make a little money. And I can use different bump music if I want. Because I don't have to worry about fucking copyright strikes for, 50-year-old music. Fuck these people. So I'm just done. I'm just done with the bullshit. I really, really am. So Davos. So the question of the evening, and we're going to continue to explore this in some way, manner, shape, or the question for the evening is: have we reached peak Davos? Had Davos gotten to that moment where they feel like if they don't push for everything now, if it isn't that John Hurt moment at the end, the end of Act 2 of V for Vendetta, where we need a full spectrum blitz of every person on the interlink. They will know that they cannot live without us. We have to, shout it from the heavens every fucking every fear porn thing imaginable we have to throw at them, because we have to prove to the people that they need us, because if we do not, it's all going to collapse. So am I going to cut loose on Odysee? I'm going to cut somewhat, yeah. So Odysee is straightforward, Rick Farmer. Just set it up, and you know, as you watch stuff, you'll get credits, and you can tip people, and you know, you can tip the videos that you watched, and all the rest of it, you know. And you can check the token price right now on CoinMarketCap is around 4.5 cents, or up from about 2. So it looks like Odysee has gotten past its, you know, initial. I've just noticed that I think it's gotten past its initial, you know, bumpy period where it looks like it's a, it looks like it's working well, and you know, it's not quite as. I mean, about 6 months ago when I was first looking at Odysee, it was a little wonky. So, but I really do believe that, you know, when you get authoritarians to that moment where they start screeching from the high heavens that you have to listen to me. You have no other choice but to do what I'm telling you right now. When they give you ultimatums, they're lying. When they tell you you have no other option than the vaccine in order to have your life back, they're lying to you. They're lying. There's always another choice. What they're doing is they're putting their dick on the table and saying, it's a dick measuring contest. Mine is bigger than yours. It's nice. It might be, but it doesn't matter. You know, good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. Right? So at the end of the day, like, Ash is my fucking hero. It's like my fucking spirit animal. Like, you know, yeah, like Bruce Campbell and Ash, they're my fucking, he's my spirit animal, for Christ's sakes. Like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Doesn't matter whether I'm, you know, a good guy or a bad guy. I got the gun, right? Well, there you go. So yeah, I will throw up a link for the Odysee stream on Twitter. I will throw another link. I will now throw my Odysee channel again into the chat for everybody watching. So again, that's the link to my Odysee channel. When I've got the stream up and running, I will tweet out the link, and we'll go from there. But if you, and so there it is. I don't know that Odysee sends out notifications that I've gone live. That's the only problem with it ultimately, but it's fine. We'll figure it out as we go along, and we'll come up with a best practice on this. So, but yeah, we'll be on my Twitter feed. How's that? Because if it's not on my Twitter feed, then you guys won't be able to find it, but should do that anyway. All right. Emperor Biggest Dickus. That's right. He's got a wife, you know. Her name is Incontinentia. Incontinentia buttocks. All right. So, like, you know, I never miss an opportunity for, you know, dick and fart joke, because I'm still 9 years old. Like, okay, supposed to notify subs when I go live. Okay, excellent. So go over there now and click on the subscribe button to my Odysee channel, and then when I go live, you should get a notification, and then we'll do the thing. And maybe I'll even, like, you know, I'll play some music I'm not supposed to play, because, well, fuck up. Copyright strike this motherfucker. I don't care. Like, I'm so fucking over this shit. I'll be honest with you. This is where I, you know, I want to go on that rant that I'm not allowed to go on, about, you know, those people constantly trying to put up a fucking, you know, toll booth between you and, you know, your prosperity. Oh no, you gotta pay me. I want my nickel. You know, I want my nickel. Where's my nickel? God damn it. I want my $2. You owe me. It's mine. Fungal. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Actually, no, I'll knowing me, I'll probably play some King Crimson or some shit. Maybe I'll just have some King Crimson running in the background, you know, kind of low key, you know. ambiance music. Bum, 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 bum. I really, honestly, should fucking just play. Like, honestly, if you were to think about theme music for my stream, I think 21st Century Schizoid Man pretty much nails it. So, all right. So this is pretty much the shitty stream where I turn around and like I don't have anything interesting to say other than fill time, and then we'll go over to Odyssey and we'll talk about something else. But I am going to say this. I do honestly believe that the salient point really is that look around you, look at the immense amount of headlines telling you that these people don't know what else to do other than yeah. You need to do what we're telling you to do, or you're gonna die. And when we reach that point, like this is a moment of weak people trying to use their existing soft power structure to make you feel like you have no other options, and to keep you living in fear, and to keep you, in the bubble of their illusion, the bubble of their scam. It's a scam. That's all it is. So, yeah, I mean, it may be the pre-party because I may actually let loose. I don't know, but I mean, come on, I've let loose on YouTube before, and I'm still here. So somebody figure this one out. ADL has a YouTube channel. You're talking about AD Live. I don't know who AD Live is. I know what the Anti-Defamation League. The only ADL I know is the Anti-Defamation League. So yeah, let's just think of it in those terms. So it is about 28 minutes in. I'm just gonna pop on out. Like, this has been fun. This has been real, but YouTube, fuck you. Like, I think that the ultimate fuck you is to just not put the best content on YouTube anymore. I mean, when I think about what Crypto Rich and Alexander Mercouris and I have to do whenever we do a show together, about what we have to talk around in order to be able to do our thing, and then all the good stuff's over on Odyssey or BitChute. I'm like, there you go. All right, guys. So give me about 5, maybe 7 minutes. I'll have to go downstairs, get another cup of coffee, maybe make a drink. There may be an adult beverage around that we'll see. All right. So again, one last time with feeling, that's my Odyssey channel. Check me out over there. Get subscribed, do the thing. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. I'll tweet out once I've got the stream set up, and we'll go from there. You guys be well. You take care. And if you don't want to follow me to Odyssey, okay. See you later. Have a good night. Keep your stick on the ice.